Tell me, Edmund, do you have someone special in your life?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I do.
Who?
Me.
No, I mean, someone you love and cherish and want to keep safe from all the horror and the hurt.
Still me, really.
I was travelling on a plane several years ago, and an episode of the Blackadder came up on the entertainment channels, and it was the nurse episode from the 4th series with Miranda. And as far as I'm aware, it was an episode that I had never, ever seen.
Cigarette?
No, thank you. I only smoke cigarettes after making love. So back in England, I'm a 20-a-day man.
I'm not a great laugher, sadly. But I might have sniggered at it, which was my way of saying that was very funny.
Remarkably, Blackadder first slithered onto our screens all of 25 years ago.
I'd mud wrestle my own mother for a ton of cash, an amusing clock, and a sack of French porn.
So tonight, we celebrate the series that sired a comic generation and a quantum of quotable lines.
You've really worked out your banter, haven't you?
No, not really. This is a different thing. It's spontaneous, and it's called wit.
We travel by train, plane, boat and automobile to track down the original cast and creators who've gone on to conquer all corners of the known universe.
If you should falter, remember that Captain Darling and I are behind you.
About 35 miles behind.
We travel from Northumberland
When we were filming here, it was the first time I'd ever met a camp Geordie.
to northern France.
If ever there was a subject requiring of satire, it's people blindly going to war.
From Hollywood
There were some rather large egos. I happened to be perfect, but everyone else is just a sort of big-headed twerp.
to the Horn of Africa.
After Blackadder, I sort of semi-retired, really, and I bought this small African town, Petendwe. And the land you can see there, up until the hills, that's all mine. Behind is Christopher Biggins, except the hill further on. That's the S Club 7 and Boyzone accountant.
Blackadder, to remind those from another planet, followed the exploits of the devilishly cunning Edmund Blackadder and his trustily stupid sidekick, Baldric.
Ulrich, believe me, eternity in the company of Beelzebub and all his hellish instruments of death will be a picnic compared to 5 minutes with me and this pencil.
Prepare a journey from the mayhem of the Middle Ages, through the terrible Tudors, to the gorgeous Georgians, ending up in the First World War. As an historical sitcom, it's timeless and keeps on twisting and turning its way into the public's affections like, well, a twisty-turny thing.
And your chosen subject.
Blackadder. Blackadder, the TV series.
Blackadder goes forth.
It's even the backbone of school history lessons.
Now, who's heard of Blackadder?
I won't even remember when I'm dead. I want books written about me. I want songs sung about me. And then hundreds of years from now, I want episodes from my life to be played out weekly at 9:30 by some great heroic actor of the age.
Now, for the first time, Blackadder himself, Rowan Atkinson, and producer John Lloyd are retracing the story of the show. A story that began at Oxford University, where a young Atkinson first met the show's fellow creator, Richard Curtis.
I did nothing of a theatrical nature in my first term at Oxford. I was just relishing the whole, sort of slightly oldie-worldy, privileged nature of the place, and going to endless organ recitals. I was a great lover of the organ.
I met Rowan in a small room, a Don's room in some college, with people who'd answered an advertisement for the Etceteras, which was the Oxford sort of sketch writing group.
He described me as being like a cushion because I sat on the chair and said nothing.
I thought he was a stuffed toy. I mean, he didn't say anything for the first 3 meetings, just a curiously shaped object in the corner. And then just when we were trying to decide what the material should be, and we'd all been handing in sketches for months, Rowan actually stood up and did 2 absolutely astonishing sketches.
Ainsley. Babcock. Bland.
I was an enormous admirer of Rowan Atkinson. I'd seen him at Edinburgh, where he'd been a cult performer from his earliest performances there.
Nancy Boy Potter. Nibble.
And I don't remember ever having laughed so much. I really genuinely weed myself at one point. Just a small amount, you'd be pleased to know, but I did wee myself at Rowan's schoolmaster monologue.
Nibble! Leave orifice alone.
Not the 9 o'clock news, the show that brought alternative comedy to TV, was the next step for Rowan and Richard. It was while working together on the groundbreaking sketch show that the idea for Blackadder started to take shape, and they made a pilot that's never been seen till now.
The eunuchs have cancelled.
Oh dear.
Now look, let's make one thing clear. This is a royal command performance. There are only 2 options. Either you do it or you don't do it. If you do it, you don't get paid. If you don't do it, you get beheaded. It's that simple. And these damned eunuchs aren't going to get away with it. I'm going to remove whatever extraneous parts of their bodies still remain.
The thing we really didn't want to do was anything that could be, in any sense, be compared to Fawlty Towers. I remember that was almost the starting point. You know, if there's one thing it mustn't be, that's Fawlty Towers or anything like it. And of course, the great inspiration on the other side of it, the thing we did want it to be quite like, was Errol Flynn's Robin Hood.
The pilot turned into the first series, featuring a Blackadder very different from the brilliant Bounder we came to know.
What a little bird.
It was a grand affair, set in the Middle Ages at the stately Alnwick Castle in Northumberland.
Well, so 25 years ago, we found ourselves coming to this town for the first time. Oh, look, there's a bit of castle. There's a sort of gate. I'm sure when we came on the recce, we thought, oh no, this is really disappointing.
Is that it? Just that?
Yeah.
Just that
Yeah,
gate?
it's a bit squat. Oh my God, there it is.
Now this does ring bells.
Yes.
Although I have to say, the whole feel is an awful lot more spruce.
It's a
than
lot.
I
It's
remember.
very trim, isn't it? It wasn't like this.
I mean, look at that grass. You know, there are lots of castles in, you know, Kent or somewhere which just don't have this sense of openness and bleakness which Alnwick has, particularly in the snow in February.
All I can remember is thinking, look at all this stuff that would, you know, this place would have been full of people, wouldn't it? As far as the eye could see, horses and dogs and... This is where the first shot we shot begins, as you say goodbye to Baldrick.
I remember the fantastic sound of hooves on these
sound,
stones,
yeah, exactly.
on this stone inside this tunnel.
And I remember when you were on that horse that first day, you leaned down from the horse and there was a little dewdrop hanging off the end of your nose because it was so cold, you know.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Raindrop
yeah.
there. And then you said, what voice shall I use? Help! Help! We haven't thought about this at all.
Get out of my way!
Going on a journey, my lord?
No, I thought I'd stand here all day and talk to you.
You'll be needing someone to tend your horse, then.
What is your profession?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
God, a retired Morris dancer.
I found this the other day. I actually kept a diary of the few days. 12th of February, 1983. Filming has been fantastically slow and tedious. The snow comes down on the words turn over as if summoned by an incantation, and in a remarkable variety of textures. Often it's as big as gravel stone.